Yes, guys, how we doing? Hope you're good. Welcome to show 448. 448. We're going to hit the 450 mark next week, which is going to be amazing, right? So failing more. I like. I want you to fail more, okay? And I think it's pretty obvious why you should be failing more. But I think a lot of people are afraid of that failure. And in this show, we're going to talk about um, understanding why we need to fail more, how we can go out and fail more, and how we can cope with it as well, right? Um, I hope everyone had a good bank holiday, and I hope that everybody is ready to go now that you're back in the game after the long weekend. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I've got a brand new mic going, so I'm looking forward to hopefully a bit of better sound quality. We'll see. Let's get on with the show, shall we? Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman, and if you are coming through, then please do let me know by hitting the love heart button, and in the comments just let me know what your number one goal is for the rest of the year. Okay, what's your number one goal for the rest of the year? Do you have one? And be honest, don't lie. Just don't make something up right now and go, I'm just going to put something so I look like I'm on it. If you haven't got anything planned, put it in their group. It's really good for me to sort of get a good perspective of what people are doing. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get on with the show. So when I'm saying fail more, what could it possibly, why would I possibly say that? And it's because we've got this, I've got a paper cut right there. It's because we have this interpretation of failure as a bad thing. Okay. We have this interpretation or this relationship that when we fail, we're not doing something right. Now, I'm a big believer that you fail like you truly fail when you do make the same mistake twice. Okay, so when you make the same mistake twice, that's when I really feel like you failed in life. That's when those trench moments happen and you're stuck in the trench. For us to be able to open our potential, elevate our potential, we have to be able to show up. And in order to show up, we have to go down a process or a road or a path that maybe we haven't been down before. Okay, so we might have gone down this road and we're opening up Pandora's box. We're kind of opening up new opportunities. We're opening up new mindsets, new concepts, new strategies, new emotions, new behaviors, new actions. And along the road somewhere, there's going to be failure. And this is where the fail more comes in, right? You know that you are showing up when you keep failing. When you don't fail, it means, to me, we're not pushing hard enough. Okay, it's almost like a reverse psychology side of things. Because when we don't show up, when people don't show up, they are coasting. Because somebody asked me what I did the other day, and I said I take men from here and take their potential and elevate it so they can show up here. That's my job, to take people from here to here. And in this little gap in between here is a whole load of learning. Okay, it's a whole load of experience, it's a whole load of wisdom. And we get better and we grow when we have that experience and that wisdom. Okay, when we can learn new ways of coping, new strategies to show up. And that's what learning brings us in our lives, right? So when we think about learning, failure brings us high levels of learning. It's the only way that we're going to progress, right, through life. I look at my 16 and my 18-year-old, and I think about how much they're learning at the minute, because they make failure, they make mistakes, they say things they shouldn't have said, they do things they shouldn't have done. You know, we learn at 18 that drinking too much is not good for the liver. All right. We learn when we're driving. If we've had a car accident, we're definitely more cautious when we if we crash a car, right? I'm not saying go out there and crash a car more, right? If you go out there and you had a fitness regime, okay, so you go like, I want to get fit, I want to get super seriously fit, okay? I want to absolutely change the way I look, I want to change the way that I feel. Through that process, what you'll start learning is that actually maybe the time that you set yourself to go to the gym isn't the right one, okay? And you'll look at that as a failure because you're not showing up to the gym, but actually what you're doing is highlighting that the time you set is not the best time to go to the gym for you, okay? It might be that you've set your expectations too high, so you might think that's a failure, but actually you've learned to manage your emotions and how you show up, okay? So that's another learning point. Okay, it might be that you are lifting weights incorrectly. Okay, you might not know what the sets are. You might have been doing something wrong, and you might look at that as a failure. But it's good. It's a failure because you've learned, and then you grow. I look at my business journey. My business journey started in 2011, part time. Part time. I just used to run a little boot camp, a couple of PTs for £15 a session, and then for 2 years, and then I left the college. And I went all in. I went all in on my business. Okay, I left the college. I had no money, like literally broke, brassic. Had to borrow some off my ma. And over 12 months, I learned how to run a business on YouTube. Okay, and I made monumental mistakes along the way. Monumental mistakes along the way. You know, I dread to think how much money I've wasted, like trying to figure out advertising. Okay, I dread to think how many customers I've lost because I didn't say the right thing at the right time. I dread to think how many more customers we could have had if we had a better system. Like all of these things is all a learning experience. Okay, and we had another learning experience at the end of June when I realised that actually I wasn't happy with the way that we were running the business. So we sat down with the team, and we changed the way that we did things so that we are happy with it. Again, that's a learning experience. We have learning experience. We're growing. We're accepting failure, and it's because we're showing up. And the more and faster that you show up, the quicker you can make those failures and the quicker you get to your potential. Now, the difference between somebody who will come on a course with us and go on our elite movement blueprint over 2 months with us, and you follow the 10 courses that we've put out, in that 2 months, you will progress more than you probably did over 8 months. So in theory, you're saving yourself like nearly 6 months, okay? Because you're going through a process and you've heightened the level of that process in those 2 months. You'll learn much faster. You'll grow much quicker. You'll have much more support. You won't spend all the time figuring it out. You won't be stuck in lots of pain and suffering and going around in circles, up and down in consistency of action. You'll be focused in there for 2 weeks, following the blueprint that's telling you how to show up. You'll be actioning it in the Elite Brotherhood. Or you try and figure out yourself. You have your ups and downs. You procrastinate. You don't do what you say you're going to do. You go round and round in circles, which is why we always say you can achieve more in 8 weeks than you do in 8 months. And that's the power of failing more. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? So don't be afraid of failure. Don't overthink failure. Don't think it's a bad thing. Okay? The true failure is not going out there and failing. And my daughter started working a nursing home for a year before she goes to uni, and she was telling me about all of the patients that turn around and tell her about all of the things that they should have done, all of the things that they regret not doing. And she said it was really sad, and it really opened up my eyes to wanting more from life. And I look at how quickly time is passing by, like week by week. Morning, buddy. Week by week, it just seems to be coming around quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And the window of opportunity becomes narrower as we get older. And our opportunities become narrower as we go through life. And I love the quote, "Seize the day." And it's And it really is about seizing the day and seizing your life and taking control of it. And we always talk about it. It's so cliche and everyone's there. But when you really understand that actually one day you could be in a nursing home, one day your health might deteriorate, one day something might completely change the way that you know life to be. And that opportunity to absolutely grow, change, develop, take charge, fail more will be gone. And I always think that every single day, whenever I start to get like, if I have a wave of self-doubt or I have a wave of feeling low, which is what I call them, waves, they kind of come and go. I bring myself back to that perspective and saying that one day I might not know what feeling self-doubt is. I might not know who I am. And it's about taking opportunities, right? It's about going out there and going, right, I'm gonna get after it. And if I fail, then I fail. Then I've learned a lesson. I'm not going to do that again. And I think that's what's really important and empowering in the very short amount of time that we have on this planet, to really get out there and go for it. Because there is no time for excuses. There is no time for overthinking. There is just action. There is just learning. Repeat, grow. Learn, repeat, grow. Learn, repeat, grow. That's what failure is. Okay. If you ever know what failure is, learn, repeat, and grow. All right. I hope that makes sense. So action takers, if you're not already with us, join the waiting list for our Awaken Your Potential 3-day online experience. It's the best giveaway course that we've done. It's the most that we've ever given away. There is monumental amount of value that's going to happen on the 18th of September and the build up to September. So if you're not on it, you really are failing. I hope you have an amazing day. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. I love Fridays. I literally, Friday morning show is my favourite. But anyway, listen, have a great couple of days. Make sure you get after it. Make sure you keep failing, showing up, showing up, showing up, showing up. Never stop. All right, guys, take care.